What's the difference between an email account, an email address, an email program, and an email service? Hi, everyone. Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. Here's a question I got. I want to change my email program from Hotmail to something else. How to do? I'm going to use this question as an opportunity to clear up some confusion I see all the time. You might not believe me, but the confusion is extremely common, and Microsoft isn't helping at all, as we'll see in a moment. An email program is not the same thing as an email service or an email account or even an email address. And in technology, I hate to say it, but terminology matters. So it's time for some definitions so that you won't be confused. An email service is something like Outlook.com or Yahoo Mail or Gmail or the services provided by your ISP or domain registrar, school, or place of employment. The service that they provide includes the servers and the software that route the email you send on the first leg of its journey to its recipient and collect the email you receive in a location where you can access it. To begin a metaphor, think of an email service as an apartment building in which you live. An email account is a relationship you establish with an email service and all of the storage and features and functionality it provides. This may include more than email services. For example, Microsoft and Gmail accounts include not only email, but cloud storage services, messaging services, calendaring, contacts, and a bunch more. An account is often, though not always, identified by a single email address. So, in our apartment building, this is equivalent to the apartment where you live. An email address uniquely identifies your mailbox as provided by your email service. When someone sends a message to your email address, it's collected by your email service and placed in a mailbox which you access through your email account. Email addresses are always in the format of name, @ domain. The domain, the part after the @ is used to route the email to the email service. The service is often obvious from the domain, such as Outlook.com, Gmail.com, and so on. The domain is used to identify the mail service handling that mail. As an email message is on its way from sender to recipient, the name, the part before the @ is completely ignored until it reaches the email service that handles that email account. Once it arrives, the name is examined to see which account should receive the mail. In our apartment building, the domain is like the street address. It gets the mail to your building. Your email name then is like your apartment number. In the mailroom, the mail clerk uses your email name to place the message into the correct mailbox. An email program, well, as soon as you say program, you're talking about computer software. An email program is software you run on your computer or device to access your email. Examples include Microsoft Outlook, which is included in Microsoft Office, but not Outlook.com. That's a website, not a program. Thunderbird and EM Client and many others are email programs that you install on your machine. An email program must be configured with your email account information, including your email addresses, password, and more. All right, like I stumbled on already, confusion number 1, email programs versus email websites. There are 2 basic ways to access email: using an email program on your computer or visiting a website online. The latter is often referred to as web-based email. When you use an email program, email is downloaded to your computer. When you visit an email website like gmail.com, outlook.com, mail.yahoo.com, or others, you're not using an email program. Instead, you're using your web browser, like Edge, Chrome, Firefox, or others, to visit a website where your email is displayed to you. The email is not downloaded to your computer. It remains on the service's servers in the cloud. An email program is like a person you hire to run and get email from the mailroom and bring it to your apartment. Using your web browser is like running down to the mailroom yourself and storing all of your email there. Confusion number 2. It's a floor wax and a dessert topping. So, is gmail.com an email service, an account, an address, a program, a website? Well, some of the above, depending on what you're talking about. Gmail.com is the website and domain associated with Google's mail service, Google Mail. While Google Mail can be delivered via other domains, it's safe to think of Gmail, without the .com, as synonymous with Google Mail. Thus, yes, we think of it as a mail service. Gmail.com is not enough to identify an email account or an address. It's not until we add a name, like say, askleo example, to @gmail.com, that we get a valid email address. Gmail uses email addresses to uniquely identify a Google account, which has access to many services besides email, such as Google Photos, Google Maps, YouTube, and more. So gmail.com is not by itself an email address or an email account. Gmail.com is not a program. It's a website you can visit to access the email associated with your email account. As you can see, Gmail can mean many things depending on the context. Of course, Microsoft makes things even more confusing. Confusion number 3, the many faces of Outlook. Outlook is not an email service. Outlook is not a website. There's no such thing as an Outlook account. Outlook, now Outlook Classic, is a program that is part of Microsoft Office, which you pay for and run on your computer. Outlook, or more formally, Microsoft Outlook, is an email program you use to access email from almost any email service by downloading it to and managing it on your computer. Outlook, not Classic, sometimes labeled New, is also an email program. It is the default email program now included in Windows 11. Even though it shares the Outlook name, it is significantly simpler and has many fewer features than Outlook Classic. All right. Outlook.com, not Outlook, but Outlook.com, the difference matters, is a web-based email service. Outlook.com is a website you visit to access email associated with your Microsoft account. Email addresses ending in @outlook.com are Microsoft accounts provided by the Outlook.com email service. That .com matters a lot because Outlook, without the .com, and Outlook.com are completely unrelated to one another, other than both being Microsoft products, both being called Outlook, and both having something to do with email. Thanks, Microsoft. Seriously, you have no idea the confusion you've created down here in the trenches. All right. So, what about moving machines? Let's say you get a new machine. To get your email on the new machine, what do you need to do to move from one machine to another? Well, if you're using an email program, you need to install the program on the new machine, move your email messages and contact list from your old machine to your new, configure the program to access your email account, which means telling it your email address and other configuration information provided by your email service, start downloading any new email on the new machine, and stop downloading email on the old. The only thing that's really moved is your collected email and contacts. Everything else is just configuration to properly access email from the new machine. Now, If you're using web-based email, things are way simpler. Open a browser on the new machine, visit your email services website, sign in. There's nothing really to move from one computer to another because it's all stored online. The original question was, I want to change my email program from Hotmail to something else. By now, we know you're not changing your email program. Rather, you're changing your email service, which means getting a new account on a new service and then getting a new email address. At a high level, changing accounts means you'll take these steps. Create a new email account with a new email service. This will give you a new email address. If you use a PC-based email program, configure it to use your new email account and address. If you use web-based email, use your browser to sign in to your new email account. Tell all your friends, your business relations, your newsletter subscriptions, and anyone else who might care what your new email address is. Honestly, it's really no surprise people get confused. There are several layers of complexity here, and many of the terms aren't always used accurately. Again, unfortunately, when it comes to computers, and particularly when seeking help for computer problems, terminology matters a lot. It's worth taking the time to understand the concepts I've just outlined. In particular, determine at least what technique you use, email program, or an email website in your browser, and then focus on the terminology related to that. As I said, these are easily confused terms, and Microsoft seems to have gone out of their way to make things more confusing. A basic understanding will help you use your email more effectively, and it will be particularly helpful when it comes time to ask questions. For updates, for comments, for links related to this topic and more, visit askleo.com/4436. I'm Leo Notenboom, and this is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.